Hello everyone and welcome to Barrack Bricks. Today I'm going to be showing you my custom tank and the techniques I use to give it a modern look so that you can use it on your own military builds. So to start off, we have the turret. This is the part of the tank I like to build first, and I do that in order to get the theme and the sizing of the tank done with the turret. You can do it in any order you want, but it is my personal preference to build the turret first. Now on the turret, you need to have basic accommodations. First is the actual gun, or the cannon. I made mines with a bore evacuator, which in real life, this releases toxic chemicals and gases from the gun, so it's safer to fire after you fire the gun. And but from a aesthetic standpoint, it makes the gun look less like a giant PVC pipe. Keeping with the gun theme, I have a heavy machine gun on the top. This is able to depress and elevate, and is also able to move left and right. I also gave the commander a machine gun, so that when he comes out of his hatch, he's just able to operate this machine gun, which moves up and down. I also have this smaller machine gun. It just really gives the tank more firepower. And this style of machine gun, kind of in a cupola or cupola fashion, is more popular with Vietnamese tanks, I believe. So like US tanks from the Vietnam era, this is more popular as it doesn't require a commander to get out of the tank to fire the gun. And then lastly, I have a coax machine gun, but I customized mine to be a flamethrower. You can really make it however you want. Next is the armor of the turret. I made mines with a lot of slopes to make it look more modern. So there's slopes in the front, which I use hinges for, and slopes in the back, which again use hinges. And then I used this sloped plate on the side to make it look more modern and to just give it a nice, cleaner look. It also gives some foot area for a minifigure to stand on in order to get into the tank. And lastly, you just want to look at smaller details for the turret. So stuff like these small lights or a commander hatch right here. I added a flag and an antenna. Just kind of parts on the turret that make it look a bit nicer, a bit more aesthetically pleasing. You can really add whatever you want onto the turret. Now, the next part of the tank we're going to look at is the chassis, or the body of the tank. Now, I made my tank operate on treads or tracks. Now, some people may not use tracks. They may use tires because either they don't like tracks, it's hard to get tracks, or, just some random reason why they don't use tracks or treads. But for my track system, I use a sprocket in the back, which connects to the transmission, which propels the tank. Road wheels help with the track hitting the ground and help disperse the weight. And then the last one is the tension wheel. This helps in real life to keep the tension of the tracks connected, but for me, it also helps keep the treads up on the opposite side of the vehicle. Now for the top of my chassis, for the top part, I left my studs exposed as it helps with customization in the future. So if I wanted to move this driver hatch to the right side of the tank, I could easily do that by just removing these plates and the driver hatch over to the right, and I don't have to take off a bunch of flat pieces. I also have a turret ring and a exhaust area for the engine, for the exhaust from the engine to come out. You can tile yours off to make it look a bit more modern. I just left my the studs on my tank exposed to give it a nicer look. On the back of the tank, I just kind of have some mud flaps and some fuel or battery packs on the back just to give it a bit more 3D shape, so it's not just flat in the back. And underneath the tank, I left mines pretty bare, as it is not really a place on the tank where many people are looking at. You can see I even added a green plate for structure. I I really just didn't care what went under here. I just put pieces under here that would help with the structure of the vehicle. I've had versions of this in the past where I tried to fill it up completely with bricks, but that made the tank very heavy and very cost ineffective, as you have to get a bunch of pieces to fill up the inside of the tank. And no one's really going to be looking under here. I mean, maybe they will, but it's not really a crucial part of the tank. You just need to have pieces under here that'll help keep the structure of the tank. You can make yours have compartments in here for ammo or maybe a crew. Doesn't really matter. I really can't stop you. This is my design, and this is the way I like to build my tanks with no parts in the bottom. I won't stop you from doing anything else, though. I also won't stop you from hitting that subscribe button. It does help out a lot. And now that I've shown you my tank and the tricks to make my modern tank, go out and build your own and have some fun. I'll see you in the next video, and I'll be back in the barracks. I'll see you next time. Happy May the 4th.